Hi, guys. Welcome back to the AfterShock Epicenter live stream. I'm Ruth Ann Thompson, and we're going to discuss not only all of the books coming out for New Comic Book Day tomorrow, August 21st, but we're also going to do a little chat with awesome Stefan Nilsson, who you've only seen him behind the scenes doing the comments, but hopefully next week we'll actually get the video working. Today he'll be on audio to discuss, and we're going to go full on and talk about all five of the books since they're out. And if you guys haven't read it, there might be some spoilers, but if you guys have read it, we'd love it if you join the discussion about Orphanage. That the number 5 came out last week, so we can all talk about it while we read it. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, August 21st. I cannot believe it's August already. Yeah, it's crazy pants. We have Killer Groove number 4. So this has been such a fun, very different title, very slice of life in seedy Los Angeles in the 1970s, where we have the aspiring singer-songwriter who accidentally falls into becoming a hitman. And at this point in number 4, he is so full on that he has actually had huge success with his album and his singing career because he has a lot more stuff to write about and these very dark, like intense songs about basically killing people. So now he kind of has the problem that he's afraid if he doesn't keep being a hitman, even though he doesn't have to be a hitman anymore because his album is doing well and his career is taking off. He's worried that the album won't do as well because he's not writing songs because he doesn't have, that grit and all that kind of stuff to work with about his career. So this is a very interesting dilemma that he has because not only that, but the next hit he has hits a little close to home. So gonna check it out, see what you think. And if you guys have been loving this title as much as I have and haven't checked it out yet, we actually do have a Spotify song list to go along with this. So that's super fun as well. A little extra music for you on that one. Then the other 2 books we have coming out is Stronghold number 5. So this has been such an interesting kind of sci-fi conspiracy theory, gods among men type of storyline that I've absolutely adored that I haven't seen anybody else do. The best way I can describe Stronghold is how a secret society would deal with a being that's so powerful that it's trying to trick itself and forget that it's so powerful. So he kind of starts off as just a regular guy and in his life, but now he's slowly finding out piece by piece who and what he actually is and what the Stronghold society is actually about and who's the good guys, who's the bad guys. I don't know. And as always, the artwork has been absolutely gorgeous. I love kind of the nanotech slash sci-fi slash kind of super powered just vision that you have going on here. So if you guys haven't checked it out, this is the final of this run. So make sure if you haven't checked it out, this is a good time. So that's Stronghold number 5, also coming out on Wednesday. And then a very exciting new number 1 of Bad Reception. So this is actually my first ever non-supernatural, but kind of it's a suspense horror type thing, and he's building the tension absolutely beautifully in this first issue. So the concept is there is a billionaire philanthropist man who's basically like the next Bill Gates, and he is a novelist and he does so many incredible things and is uber rich, and he fell in love with this woman who is an actress, activist, and the most followed person ever. Like, she has millions upon millions of followers, and they decide that they want to have their wedding be completely off the grid. Like, nobody can even bring their cell phones. Everything is put in safes for 24 hours, and they're flown to an undisclosed location that there's nothing around for miles and miles and miles. And it does so well of building the tension that there's actually going to be some sort of murder. We don't know who yet, and we don't know who did it. But Juan Doe, who's done a lot of stuff for us, I just absolutely love his very clean and artwork, but it still tells such a beautiful story. And as you can see, like there's a storyline going on, and there's hints to the horror that might ensue later on. So it's just really fun because it's also dealing with our addiction to social media and to the internet. And he even comes what has a word that I've never heard before, which is basically a fear of no phone, which is nomophobia. I've never heard that word before, but I love it. And it's a great outlook and like look at how addicted we are to social media and what it means to be off the grid. So if you guys haven't like heard of this yet, please check it out at your local shop. And again, if you don't know where your local shop is, on our website, on every single page, there is a comic book shop locator on the zipper there, so you can click on that and find any shops that you're looking for nearby. Now, I think we can have Stefan join. Are you there? I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, you got it. Okay, yeah, I have. We're back. We're good. Hello. Hi, guys. Sorry about that. We're still having technical difficulties that we're ironing out. So again, we don't have Stefan live on video, but we're going to hear him on audio. You still there, buddy?
I am here. Yes.
Okay. What up?
Yes. The thrill
So
of doing live across the country.
yes, bringing it live, bringing it hot. So we want to try out like something else to do during this live stream to get some more conversation going, and we're going to highlight basically past titles that either just finished up or have been out for a while that we'd love for you to check out. So we're going to talk this week about Orphan Age because we just finished it up last week with number 5. It may come back for another run, but for now this is the run that we finished up. So I know, Stefan, you just finished this title, right? What did you think?
Yeah, it was an interesting take on the post-apocalyptic. Had a lot of familiar themes to it, but at the same time, it had great character development. I really liked Daniel. I liked Princess.
Yeah.
Would love to have seen more. I'm blanking on her name now. The redhead musician, who obviously
Yes.
is a bit more than a redheaded musician, but
Yeah.
yeah. But the art was really good. Coloring was great. Letterings were awesome. I mean, it was a well put together book. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, we were just mentioning like how this is, I love the sepia tone that's kind of throughout it. So you really feel like this dry, kind of deserty, like almost Wild West feel, because that's what basically happened when all the kids take over. And I love that it is a similar idea that we've seen before of, what happens if all the adults are gone, and that sort of like Lord of the Flies style. But I love this take of it's just fast forwards, like within the first issue, it just fast forwards straight to 20 years later, which nobody really deals with that fallout.
Yeah, I enjoyed how they were doing the cities and how societies were building up here and there. I wish we could have had a little more time to see that, because my biggest question did where did all the smart kids go? Because there has to be somewhere that's further advanced than even Albany.
Yeah,
So,
it's true. Yeah, because Albany seems to be the only like really it's the oasis almost of everybody who came together. Because it was interesting seeing like how how everybody described the ways in which like there was one character who described like you either went 3 ways, you either like died, you killed, or you stole. Like it was like those were the 3 options of like basically how these kids survive. And it even dealt with some of the kids who just went off into the wilderness and were just basically raised in the wild.
I did, I'm sure there's more of them out there. That was, I wanted to see, I wanted to see a lot more of all of this. It was that good.
Yeah.
It really had me
the world that he built was just so incredible and so many different layers and like socio-political, like all that kind of stuff that's just fascinating. And the one thing that, especially in the last issue, that really hit home for me, and I think it's written very well for this generation who is coming up. And I don't know about you guys, like supposedly I'm an adult, but I don't feel like an adult, and I'm really like I have all these adult responsibilities, and they kind of really feel that is that this is the first time that like now the kids that were kids are now full on adults, and they're supposed to have the answers. And there's none, because none of them were taught anything. The best they had were old books that they kind of like read and tried to learn up from there. But what the oldest kids were like 11, 12. So the oldest people are at this point are like 30s, in their mid 30s. So they're basically millennials, which is terrifying. Yeah. A world of only millennials is basically what this is.
So my question to you on this then, what do you think happened to Daniel's brother? I have a theory.
Oh, yeah. So you find out that he bounced and left his little brother pretty before even this book takes place. So, yeah, what's your theory? Do you think he's part of the church? Yeah, I was just about to say.
But it's not like he is a zealot or anything. He left with them in order to spare Daniel, I bet.
That makes sense.
Half the food was gone, or half the stuff was gone. So I'm betting that was the bargaining chip. He leaves, takes half of it. They spare Daniel.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that totally makes sense. That was the deal that he made, and he didn't want to bring Daniel with him because then he would have to be part of all of that awfulness that they do.
Yeah.
Oh, now I want this to continue, because then maybe he's part of the team that's attacking Albany. Oh my God, I need more.
We need to get answers. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And for all of you that have read Orphan Age or like have any other like theories and all that kind of stuff, please comment below, and we'll definitely address them. But yeah, it was such because the title, I don't know, like I usually don't go for this cleaner artwork, and it's actually since this book that I really have like I just love it. I love the way that it's just so expressive in its simplicity, and it's dealing with a lot of stuff that I feel like we always talk about when it comes to, as you said, it's a post-apocalyptic story, but there's stuff that like changes depending on if they had education to get to this point or if they're literally starting everything from scratch. And it is interesting seeing what they used and what they didn't, because as we know, by the end of this, they actually did start using and found old weaponry of like mustard gas and really some of the terrifying stuff that we'd rather leave in the history. But now they're going back and using these terrible things to try to save their town.
Yeah, and the fact that places like Albany actually have limited electricity, and so they were getting there, like I said. But
Yeah.
I just had this idea that the smart kids, like the really super smart kids, they're Doogie Howser types. They have some utopia somewhere.
Yeah, they got to, right?
Yeah.
Because like I remember my friends in high school were so smart where like by 13 they were building computers out of like old parts. Like where are those kids?
Yeah.
Like what sort of like sweet AV club do they have going on in the future?
Oh, but yeah, definitely worth the read. Hopefully, people will pick it up, either the 5 issues now or the trade coming out. But yeah, definitely. Like I said, if you're into post-apocalyptic, this one is it, but it has a little bit of a different flair to it because you're watching.
Yeah, a little different flavor.
Yeah, it's not just everything's death spot. I mean, they are trying to expand and get back. Some are trying to get back to normal. Some of them are trying to find the new normal. Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I hope we continue with this world because it's really interesting, and I want to know what happens.
Agreed.
Do we have any comments about this? Can you see on your screen there, Stefan?
No one has jumped in yet, but hopefully next week. We can. Well, I say next week because I'm dying to talk about it. Bad reception.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hopefully I didn't give away too much today talking about it for next week.
No,
but yeah,
enough to get people interested in it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that one and get people jumping on that one.
Yes, super stoked. Yeah, and we are going to be doing an interview with Colin Bunn about Dark Ark soon. So when we talk about that book, we'd love to get your guys' input and questions that you would like us to ask him for a pre-recorded interview. Beep, bop, bop. All right, so I guess that is it for today. But so the next con, we'll be talking more about it next week and the next following weeks. The next con for us is going to be Rose City Comic Con up in Portland, Oregon, which I'm excited because I've never been there. So it's going to be a fun con for all of us at AfterShock. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining. We will see you next week to discuss all the books from this week and really break them down, as well as the comic books coming out for New Comic Book Day next week. So thanks for joining, and don't forget to read dangerously.